Welcome to Mind the Gap. Today we are reacting to a lack of a decision by the Supreme Court that chose not to hear a case that decided that the organizers for mass protests would be charged with whatever unlawful acts that people involved in the protest caused. So we're going to react to their lack of decision with that today.
You got through it.
I did, man. It took me 3 times, but I got it.
We here, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm one of your hosts, TK, aka Third Good Demobilized.
See, now I was going to go with Third Good, but yeah, I'm Darius, aka Third Good. And this is Mind the Gap. All right, so I'm just going to give you a couple of facts of the case before we jump into the conversation. A previous case that they chose not to rule on was called McKesson versus Doe, and they decided not to hear that case that involved a lower court decision that eliminated the right to organize a mass protest in Mississippi, Louisiana, or Texas. Well, it didn't eliminate protests. It just made it so that the law can sanction anyone who is considered to be an organizer of a mass protest for any lawful acts committed by the protester and counter-protesters. So that means if somebody in your group does something, you can be charged, but they also can charge you if a person that comes that's against your protest does something, which is wild. So that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
Oh, that was trash. They did.
Complete trash.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
It was the Fifth Circuit,
Yeah.
which is made up of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi.
Yeah, very conservative,
Yeah.
which I don't think is a coincidence.
Yeah. And it was a 3-panel judge that they voted on. 2 out of 3 voted for it. It's only one judge, Willock, that voted against it because he had some points. Like he was breaking down like, all this is gonna do is this could make he brought up like the Martin Luther King protest. He brought up like other protests that was like, has happened before. And
could you imagine?
And he was a conservative judge too,
Yeah.
by the way. He's not like,
Yeah, but could you imagine an organizer back during the civil rights getting charged with the amount of violence that happened during that?
he got blood on my shirt. That's assault. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, cuz.
What is it, Edmund Pettus Bridge?
Mm-hmm.
And when they got descended upon, could you imagine how many charges the organizer would have got?
I don't know what the laws was for assuming how it was back then, but they was going to jail anyway.
Yeah.
They was going to jail.
Well, they was going to jail regardless, but the organizer would have got charged with every kind of violence.
Yeah, that'd have been wild.
Happened.
Martin Luther King still be locked up. He never got shot.
I mean, he would have saved his life. It would have saved his life. He said, "That's all we trying to do is save his life."
It worked out, just fine. But the one judge, Willick, he was saying like, man, this is a possible.
Willick or Whitlock?
Willick.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you know what I'm saying. I am with names.
Yeah.
But he was saying, that this can make the police more aggressive because they have some type of immunity out there.
Right.
They can be a little more like, you know what I'm saying,
antagonistic.
They
to
can
get
provoke
them or
something.
goad them.
Oh yeah, get him, or whatever
just
the case is.
Maybe do something themselves.
Yeah, but for me, this is all the way stupid on any case because like say if it's mainly for the Black Lives Matter protest because they had like an incident before where the Supreme Court already ruled on this in 2003, which was after this one, I think. Where they had something like it was like cyber threats, and they made an establishment of what civil liability is in that case. So it's weird for them not to hear this case or at least go back to that. But hopefully they appeal it in that case. But for me, it's still stupid because like anybody can protest. You know how these are rural areas, and those rural areas, or these are Republican led states, and a lot of these states have a lot of rural areas, a lot of Trump fans, and a lot of racism. Yeah. So for me.
Yeah,
what I would do if there's any type of protest out there that has like the Ku Klux Klan or like somebody that's like okay with dictatorship, the Nazis, anything in those areas, I just do the same thing that could be done to any other protest.
Yeah, I'm popping up and I'm starting trouble.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Just my presence.
Alone.
Causing, I think this decision to not hear this case and overthrow this rule that happened is obviously stupid. And I think the other part, not only can you antagonize somebody, I think it would make it easier for somebody to join a protest under the guise that I'm with the same cause and just start trouble.
And you ain't even got to do that because you could just be the opponent and do it. You don't have to.
Either way. You know what
I'm saying? Either way is fine. Way. And the government has already been, you know what I'm saying, especially in the 70s and the 80s and stuff, there already been documents where they come out and say they had people that was inside these protests that would go out here and cause trouble to make the whole organization look bad. Matter of fact, there's one guy who was being sued because he was an FBI informant that he infiltrated the Black Lives Matter movement and did stuff at protests. But he was paid by quote unquote the government. He's getting sued. Well, allegedly, because he ain't been prosecuted yet. So yeah, this stuff can happen.
And I think this is another example of trying to depower the people. Like I know a lot of people like freedom this, freedom that, but I think this is an obvious move to take some of the power away from people and our right to protest and object to whatever's going on, because it's going to discourage people from organizing or cause them to go more underground so you don't know who the organizer is in charge, you know, which would probably lead to another charge they might invent for like illegally organizing a protest or something.
And it's just for protests or organizing big groups? Because if
you said organizing mass protests.
Yeah. So like, well, something like,
but then what counts as mass would be debatable. Okay. Like the threshold of that.
But for me, that not really. Well, it does after the first one. Because after the first one, okay, well, you prosecuted this person, and this person had 50. Yeah. But now at this point, anything over 50 is mass.
Yeah.
Once you do that.
Once you set the precedent.
Yeah, well, after the first one, for me, it's like,
they're gonna be like, you had a group of 50 in this area of space.
Yeah.
This count, you took over this much space. This is not considered a mass protest.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's just dumb, man. They're just like, because you, and that's what I see a lot of times with Republican people, just Republicans in general. They'll only look at one side and don't look at how it affects them.
Yeah.
Right. Like let's get rid of all the books, but then the stuff that you're getting rid of the books for is also in the Bible, and then now you're mad at people want to get rid of the Bible.
Or you look at January 6th.
January 6th.
And now you got to prosecute everybody else over there.
Which is another thing that the Supreme Court is doing with them, where they go looking to let a lot of them off because of certain things in the law that they now reviewing to get them out. So that's another thing the Supreme Court is looking like they're gonna take another L on. Like, you didn't want to hear this, but you can hear that. You know what I'm saying? It seems like anytime Trump wants something to be heard, or they end up taking the case. Yeah.
Or anytime he wants something, they're willing to overstep a precedent to do it. Like with the Roe v. Wade.
Which is another thing that they're taking L on.
Where they weren't even ruling on that case. They leapfrogged over the case they were supposed to be reviewing and just decided to go after Roe v. Wade.
Crazy. And again, Republicans, another thing that they're taking the L on, because now they don't understand. Now they're crying about why these voters and why these women don't want to deal with it. Arizona is taking a hit right now. They're looking crazy right now because of that. So it's always one-sided. I get the tactics. I get what y'all trying to do, but it always backfired. Or it seemed to always backfire.
Yeah. And then y'all start walking it back. Like I'm seeing a lot of Republicans, especially on abortion rights, are walking it back. Even Trump is like, "Hey, I ain't saying
all that. I ain't saying go that far." Y'all said that thing. I think Arizona made a mistake. Yeah. No, but everybody over here was riding for it. You got this Carrie Lake person over here who's walking it back, not looking crazier than what she already looked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, why are y'all taking? My problem is Republicans try to enforce what they beliefs are upon the law instead of doing what the voters are asking you to do. Yeah. The voters want this, and y'all saying, no, we're going to give you this, and you're going to like it.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's where they now starting to come to a head. It's like, no, we done with that.
Yeah.
Because y'all done went too far.
Yeah.
Now they start going too far.
And now they put themselves in a dangerous position where they try to, moderate voters, but they also have to appease these fanatics out here. So they can't they can't seem like they're conceding too much, or otherwise their other base that they done fanatics will start going after them. But we've seen that easy to devour anybody in their way. They like piranhas.
They tearing Mike Johnson ass up as we speak right now.
They about to lose. You about to lose another House Speaker. Like, y'all see how bonkers that is? Can y'all not see how crazy it is that the right just keeps devouring themselves?
Yeah, bro. And the crazy thing about it now, the seats in the House now are very much closer than what they were before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, you know, how like Democrats, they was voting for I forgot what the black dude name is. They was voting for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republicans had to figure out their own. Democrats, we're not helping you. Let's just say there's 4 or 5 Republicans that say, you know what, I'm just gonna go with them.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, we off that.
Yeah, we can't. Now the majority doesn't have the majority speaker. That is the minority.
It's
like ridiculous. Like this is checkers that we're watching.
Anyway, get back on subject.
Yeah.
I know. To me, this is one of the instances where it sounds smart to a dumb person, and then because it's like I'm sure there's people out there that of course they should be charged. If somebody out there doing crimes and stuff, and you part of your protest or whatever, because that's what they want to do anyway. Because you know that's what they're trying to do with BLM protests.
Mm-hmm. This is mainly what it's for.
We'll see how they act out here. They acting blah blah blah. This is what just blah. So they of course they gonna believe us, but then when they get out there and protest, and that same thing happened to them, they're like, oh, we went too far. We understand that. But it shouldn't get that far for you to understand, like, this is stupid. And that old, tired narrative where people push, only time I see them push this narrative of how they want a peaceful protest, or like, can y'all protest over there? Can y'all do this over there? It's like, that's not the point of a protest. We trying to disturb.
Supposed to be inconvenience.
Yeah, we trying to disturb what's going on to get you to notice what we're saying and what the real issue is before it's too late. Because what's too late is when you want to do your little protest and you go out there and then y'all start tripping and we start tripping.
It's like, oh man, it's different.
Like, this is crazy. Why am I?
We got to change that. It's too late.
It's too late.
At this moment in time,
this is what you wanted.
Because let's look what I said in the beginning of this episode, man. I could just go out there and start trouble.
Yeah.
And anything that happened in that, like, if you look at the, I know at one point we was talking about, I think it was 2022, and we had a conversation about how mostly all mass shooting was done by white supremacists.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people in the comment section had a problem with that. And they kept bringing up, well, 25 people died at the Black Lives Matter protest or whatever. And we was like, first of all, that happened years before that, 2022. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Or whatever date that it was. And also when you peel that onion back, you starting to see, okay, this was a white supremacist at these rallies, and he shot a reporter.
Yeah,
but it was at a Black Lives Matter protest. Oh, this was also a white supremacist. I think he was part of like the bungalow thing. Bungalow Boys. Also a white supremacist who shot police officers and killed a police officer.
Yeah,
like those. Like if you look at those, if you look a little closer, or
if you break it down, you'll see that the protesters were the ones that wasn't bugging out.
You know what I'm saying? Like one protester, he died with his child in his arms. From a bartender that shot at them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. So when these things happen, these are people that's not part of protests and shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say shouldn't, are there to go against the protest. Those are people that's causing trouble and doing stuff. This person shot a reporter.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing to do with what we doing over here.
The protest, other than the reporter out here because of the protest. You can't just be like, 25 deaths mean there's a protest responsible for. You got to look at the details of the deaths.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Civil liability.
And to be more specific, it's not just that most killings were done by white supremacists. It was that the motivated killings behind political motivations they find were more white supremacists leaning than any other thing.
Yeah.
Like they had manifestos of white supremacy, all the killings that they found. And we can back that up. So.
Yeah, we can back it up. You know what I'm saying? We was going to get y'all in the conversation, but then we filter y'all will filter yourselves out. But like I said, back to the subject, it's more so that can backfire at any time for whoever, like whatever idea that you have for that can backfire at any time. And it kind of goes against, people's civil liberties.
Yeah.
And the First Amendment. It doesn't go against the First Amendment. It indirectly limits it.
Which, for a lot of people on the right, that sounds like it's tearing up the free speech.
It limits it to it, like, because now you got to hesitate. But but to be honest, how much work would you have to do to realize that somebody organized a protest?
What do you mean?
Like, how often do you know who organized a protest when you go?
I think
by the times we've been,
I think it depends on, because you got preparation But I think in the moment they'll just point to whoever's giving out instructions.
So what if I'm like Q from QAnon? Like you don't know who I am.
Yeah. I mean, then they gonna get whoever they can. If they can't get you at the source, and they gonna be out there, whoever got the megaphone, tell them, let's go to the right, because they gonna be like, you out there organizing. You out there organizing. You the organizer. So we gonna get you for it unless you got somebody else.
Right. Somebody says it gotta be
they gonna get somebody. So and you know what I mean? If nobody makes noise about this, it might be only a matter of time before, they start pushing that in other places to like try to quell people's anger or whatever, or doubts with the system.
I will say this, man. If Trump lose, which is looking like that's what's gonna happen, it's gonna be protest.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a lot of unlawful acts. So, you know what I mean? Play with it if you want, man. I think the most common sense thing is to just charge the person who is doing the unlawful acts.
Like what you been doing.
Yeah.
Because it's done. It's like it doesn't even have to backfire. All you doing is making things more complicated.
Yeah.
You making things
you making police do more work. Now they gotta research this organization, all that, which they probably already got. If they hear of a protest coming, they be like, let's look at this.
You know Thomas did it.
You know what time it is. So yeah. But you got anything else on this, man?
I can't wait to see how all this pan out.
Yeah.
Y'all be safe out there. Be strategic when y'all move. Be safe. And I don't live in Texas, Mississippi, or Louisiana.
Hopefully it don't spread here. So that's all I got.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure that they are going to appeal this, and it's going to be they're gonna fix this. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix it because he already ruled on something. This Colorado incident in 2003. So now you got like inconsistency. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix it.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah.
but I'm about 70.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm up in there. At this point, with everything going on, I don't know.
58%.
I don't know what's gonna cause people to shake up.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Cause they thinking about letting the January 6th.
They just.
So you right a 50-50.
Tell it, man.
The percentage is going down. So let's end this before we get to something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Done?
I'm good.
All right, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share. I'm TK, aka Thurgood. Demobilized.
I'm Darius, aka Thurgood.
And this is Mind the Gap.